The police state here is a preview of some of the reality-based, real-world issues you guaranteed will encounter. If you would like to hear more, please listen to the 4-part series, posted by The Wall. There are ways to win against the police state, coming battle of good versus evil, and against the government-paid criminal thugs once they physically start their riot war against all free citizens in each of mine and your very own streets. Tactics and assessments will be given to be used by all freedom fighters of today and the past. Each free citizen will be informed of the real-world police state tactics they use to subdue each one of our citizens, and how each one of us can use those exact same techniques back against them for freedom's victory. Remember, using their very own tactics back against them is key to victory over the government criminal thugs. You've seen the police state in Ferguson, Missouri and what to expect, but do you know the top secret tactics they used? No, but I will explain many of them to you, and how you will never be a victim from these criminal government thugs when the time comes in your very own ground zero small town. You will be explained in detail why each free citizen's number one enemy is freedom's ground zero, and in their very own neighbor, called your local police department. Police officers and your very own city mayor and employees are your worst nightmare thugs, paid to gain control of you quietly and have you silently listen and follow their direction. You see, you are brainwashed if you and they think they are not playing a part in this criminal act. Yet, they are the unknowing zombie pawns who the masses will follow and listen to once the time comes. They are your best friends, but they do not see they are playing a part, just like your military-grade armed police officers but without a gun. To prove this fact, doesn't each and every city employee follow and carry out any order given to them without thinking of why? You see, this is the exact same tactic used from the highest levels of government, down to the smallest city neighbor employee. Each have subjectively used as a link to keep the government thugs in 100% complete control to each glass of water we drink. But the ones who can do the most harm to the masses are all the current military personnel and corporation, paid contractors who are also your very own neighbor. They will be up in the airplanes and have full access to each planet-destroying weapon known to man that your loving government officials gathered for peace. This will be explained how any single small person in any single small town and all the unknown patriot single small action by anyone is essential for victory. As in the past, there have been millions of unknown heroes in every small town who all added up to victory over their aggressors. Again, your very own number one immediate threat against losing our freedoms is not in Washington, D.C. as they want you to believe. They are your next-door neighbor police officer and government-paid thugs who will do direct, immediate and first-line harm to you, your loved ones, and your entire free community. It will not be the military as they brainwashed you into thinking. Simply, they do not have the numbers to be deployed into each small town, so your actions to gain control of your very own local police officers in your immediate area is your one and only essential duty to keep your community freedom. Keep in mind that the top richest and most powerful government, bribed political officials top 1% in America today have 99% full access to all of your government's most powerful and destructive weapons that can be used against all of us free citizens and their overthrow plan of our nation. Once you listen and understand this reality who and why your real number one enemy really is your very own neighbor, you will 100% understand why your loving and caring government have been giving all military-grade weapons down to your local small town USA. It was not just by chance, but a deep-rooted thought-out process to shut down and gain immediate control of each small town US free citizen. Now do you understand why your local city's police officers and next-door neighbors are you and your loved ones' number one highest-level threat for all free citizens? This is the real ground zero roots. That is the only way all of us free citizens can stop these paid government thugs who want to overthrow our freedoms. So now do you understand like never before why military-grade weapons were given down to all small-town USA? This is ground zero for freedom, but this is the only way we can stop their evil plans and save it. Information will be given to expose this top-secret fact to you, expressed in a way that you can clearly see and fully understand their ploy and our counter-tactics to stop them at the lowest, most basic level. You will learn how to get all of these paid government thugs who wish to do harm to their very own neighbors and masses by getting their very own family, loved ones to stop them at their very own home using reason, logic, and love. This is where all paid aggressor thugs are at their most weakest and most vulnerable. That is their very own home, so keeping the aggressor thugs inside their own door is essential so that no further harm will come to anyone. You will learn how to explain how to inform these aggressive criminal government thugs who do not understand nor realize that their very own families, loved ones and children will all be rounded up and armed in the exact same manner as who they are doing to the masses, by them protecting their very own criminal government element they are supporting, by follow order without understanding the reason. They will have other government-like-minded criminal thugs, without their knowledge or realization round up and confine their very own loved ones. Do your local criminal thug police officers really think their families will be safe from what they are doing to the peaceful, loving protesters they are doing harm to? How could they live as free people in a freeless society? How could any loving father and husband leave their family home alone at time of disaster or left unprotected for harm? You see, it is essential these thugs stay home for the peaceful freedom we all know, love and depend on. Now how to take back the people's freedom and power back from your government criminal thugs, by one criminal thug at a time. As one huge mess, they are all powering, but how do the free citizens really whittle down their strength, numbers, and steps on how to weaken these thugs, one member thug at a time? Conquer and divide. If you can stop them from getting to the government criminal thug gang, they will not have all the power they expect. Stopping one thug before they arrive to their staging area will slowly drain all the power from them. Past actions will discuss how all free people can slow and stop the vital resupply lines your aggressors need to keep them in full control. There is so much more vital essential information that once you listen to this, you will hear and understand what needs to be done once our power goes out and the police state physically starts to gather together, but together in each of our very own small city and local criminal gang of thugs using the name of police officers in each city who are planning to round each free citizen up to be placed in FEMA camps and either made a slave or eliminated from this planet. This is totally unlike you ever heard before. This is all totally real, on which all free people need to do once your local police officers gather together in their criminally created government police state community. Each of your local police station or the criminal government element enemy is silently, behind locked safes and closed doors, planning your overthrow of your street, city and neighbor. Each of your local criminal member police officer and ranking official has sworn a solid oath to support and defend their stronger government criminal gang member, the richest and most powerful government officials, with a common goal of total dictatorship to replace the useless 1776 constitutional rights we once had. Their policies and procedures are just like what any mafia or drug gang follows, and where their blood oaths given, and to keep the code of silence and deception for victory over their area of responsivity. Your very own small town. So you see, your local police department gang of criminal thugs are hiding in plain sight, planning and acting like all other criminal clubs, but calling themselves your local police department. This is where they quietly and tactically are planning to subdue each and every of its local citizens, by any means needed to stop any peaceful protesting mess and implement their ultimate goal in their community. These are a mafia-like network, who will be passing information to each other, including swapping arms and personnel to neighboring communities who is for freedom from government and freedom to live life as they chose. Now do you understand why in the 1776 Constitution had open meetings, but that hasn't been done for decades? But your local government is not there to protect you, but to harm you. In any free society, police officers shall not be allowed to intervene your freedom of movement unless you are taking away someone else's freedom. To prove us wrong, your local city needs to allow all local freedom-fighting citizens who live in their very own community access to each resource and weapon they possess. If they have nothing to hide, they have nothing to fear. Imagine all the crimes many of your individual local police officers fabricated unto its citizens they do not like, by falsifying court documents, railroading members of its community, and placing each one of them in their jails just because they could. Imagine what revenge these free citizens wish to do upon those criminal police officers, did to place them in jail for crimes that were alternate or fabricated. There will be much built-up anger against these corrupt police officers in positions today, or when someone finds them when this event starts. Would that be considered revenge, or would their actions be justified? I hope you listen to this and it opens your mind into directions you never thought of before. You now have taken your first step to freeing your mind for the government mind control program, and you never thought they had one. Well then, why haven't you ever heard or thought of this before? There are other in-depth complete points of view I will post. But please, listen to my more complete version of this that is 45 minutes long. It will give you many step-by-step specific tactics that is essential to keep your community free from your local criminal thugs. This is the only known real honest assessment of what will happen once boots are on the ground in each small town USA, so this knowledge and tactics need to be given to each free citizen and ensure that all children know this so they have this knowledge for years to come. I expect something to happen very soon, because many of the tactical information given to you were never given before. Once you hear all that is said, I guarantee you will never forget about what was said. How often does that happen in life? But this is one time it turned out to be true. I will always do all I can to save your very own freedom and that of all your loved ones. You see, I am a stranger that you never met before and doing all I can to save your life. But the key is, you can do the same thing. You, yes you, any small-time person in any small-time city, living on any small-time street USA. So you see, you have been placed on this earth and read this at this very time, for a reason. Your single action can and does matter and have a direct impact on not only your life, but that of your loved ones and your entire community. Lastly, above all, say a prayer or kind word for me. Feel free to pass this on, but please, give credit to the wall for this creation.